so much.
Hello.
Hi. We are live already.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are live already. Today, we're talking about domestic violence, domestic abuse. We're talking about all that. That's the topic today. So, well, a story has been told of a woman who was so in love. Yeah, and she married the Prince Charming, her Prince Charming, and they lived happily ever after until the blows came and she died. She stepped on her chest and she died. She went to the hospital, got sick, and died. Yes, that's a true story. That is not a fairy tale story. That is not something for off. I don't know what. That is something we are witnessing every day now. Go on and Google domestic violence. You'll see all the news there about, I don't know, the husband who killed, I don't know, the wife in a yacht while the children were watching. You will see there are lots and lots of stories. There are things that are actually happening now. That's why we're having this conversation today. Otherwise, I'm Nicole Hanselman, your host. This is Success Your Way Movement. And we've got our guest who will be talking about this. Everjoy, welcome. She's a businesswoman, a mentor, and she's always ready to discuss and teach us new things. So, Everjoy, go ahead and introduce yourself and welcome for coming back to my platform.
Oh, thank you for welcoming me. My name is Everjoy Kurangwa. I'm an entrepreneur and philanthropist by, virtue of being a charitable person. And I'm part of the Soroptimists. I don't know if any of you have ever heard about Soroptimists. You can Google them. They're all over
Tell us.
the world. I'll tell you more about that. So I will speak about the work that we do behind the scenes. That's my philanthropic work aside of whatever else I do in business. So mainly today is to talk about relationships and domestic abuse. Something that is very, very dear to me because I've seen and I've witnessed a lot of it happening to people that are close to me and are linked to me in different ways. So a good platform to have, and thank you for welcoming me.
Brilliant. A very important topic because not so long ago, it's not been even a month, we had this singer who everybody loves, this gospel singer. Her life was taken away so soon, and then a week after, there was this sports lady as well, a Kenyan sports lady. You see, these things are happening. There are way too many. We need it to stop. So I hope today you'll explain to us what it is. I hope you'll tell us the signs. I hope you'll tell us whether we're meant to live or not to live, because we know some people are like Christians or like religious people, so they're conflicted on whether they're meant to live or not to live, whether they're supposed to pray. And I know you're a Christian too, and you pray a lot, and you know this is in line with what you do already. So I hope you'll be answering all that, so that when somebody comes out of here, they understand what direction they can take. Because I've just asked a question that is, when is it too soon to leave? You know, so because people don't know when it's too soon to leave. We know when it's too late to leave, but we don't know when it's too soon. When it's too late, you don't even know about it. You're in a coffin and 6 foot under. It's a little bit way too late then. So, my dear, maybe you should start. I want people to tell us hello. Just one person to tell us hello, a reaction, thumbs up, anything at all, so that we get psyched and get on with it. Anybody's just a reaction or hello, tell us where you're watching from and stuff, then our guests can take it from there. So, dear, hi guys, welcome, welcome. We really appreciate you for being here and watching with us. So the topic is domestic violence. I would also like to hear your own view. When is it too soon to leave? When is it too soon to leave? I know I hate violence. I know I'm so scared. I know I can't stand it. Immediately you start tracking things, hitting walls, I am gone. I know I can't stand it. I can't stay any longer. So when is it too late to leave and stop? So, guys, any reaction? Hi, welcome, thank you. And that is enough sign to tell us, guys, to get on with it. Go on and tell us what it is.
Okay, so the question still stands: when is it the right time to leave when you feel can you hear me?
Let's start by defining it. Yeah, let's start by what it is, because some people don't know what it is and the signs.
Domestic violence. I will sum it up the way I understand it, and I know most people will view it differently, but it's any form of abuse, be it verbal, physical, or financial, which puts you in a position of disempowerment as a woman or a man. Domestic violence does not only happen to women, it also happens to men, women doing it to men. So we need to be careful how we will approach this topic.
Absolutely.
Because it's very, very, very important that we raise the awareness amongst women and men. So to me, domestic violence is any form of abuse, be it verbal, physical,
emotional, financial,
emotional, it's all involved. Physical, it's domestic, it's abuse, and you can separate the two and say domestic and then abuse, and when you attach them, it's domestic abuse.
Yeah, I do like that, because it's true. It's perpetrated to both the female and the male. So you're not saying that it doesn't happen to male. This is not about that. But most of the time we tend to talk from our own perspective as women, because that's what we can relate to the most. So when we talk about it as women, we're not being biased. We're not saying it's only happening to women. But in this case, you're like, just supporting our own in this. But we don't support any form of abuse to anyone, regardless whether it's a child, whether it's a woman, whatever it is. We're saying no. We say no to that. So what are some of those signs that people can look into?
Okay, on the signs. Oh, my soror sister, hello.
Oh, okay, you do know my soror sister.
You see, Soror all over. I will have to get in touch with you.
Welcome.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm the youngest soroptimist in Hartford. So yeah, you are seeing a soror sister here. Hey.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant. And
so one thing that we did as soroptimists was to lobby for violence, domestic violence against girls and women. And that bill was passed in the House of Commons, because that's what soroptimists do. But it's never too late to run away. It's never too late to walk away. One thing that I find, which I'm going to start by us as Africans, because mainly domestic violence is very, very common, but we overlook domestic violence amongst ourselves. Reasons being our childhood, the way we were brought up to be resilient to societal needs, and hence you are forced to live with a man or a woman when you are under domestic violence consistently. And by consistently, I mean the telltale signs are there from the beginning, before you even get into that relationship, to make it stronger. You find, I'll give an example. If one thing that I've since told myself is, if I was to date somebody, and we for example, we're driving in a car and they are shouting at the other motorists out there, using the effing and what have you, that's a red flag to me. If he can do that, or if she can do that on the road, she can do it at home. So why should I put up with someone like that? And you can't educate somebody to be a better person, but what you can do is to educate yourself to be the person you want to be. And domestic violence does not start or stop. And when it starts, the telltale signs are there. It starts, it's maybe a few words are dropped into a conversation. You're getting fat, or you're ugly, and all that. You start hearing certain things have changed. It's shifting towards the negative signs. And you're thinking, I'll stay. You find women go to the extreme of even trying to make that man feel that, they are needed. And you go and you start doing things to yourself to try and better yourself for him. Do it for you. Don't do it for him. The mistake we make is When we have children in relationships, we are thinking, oh, I'll stay because of my children. I'm here because of, when there is no attachment, there is no affection. And I'm not going to talk about love. Love is for another day. To me, love is a decision that one has to make. So do not go into a relationship for love. Don't mistake love and friendship. You need to be friends first before you can become lovers, and you have to be lovers before you become housemates. And then by then maybe you're getting married and all that. So relationships based on telltale signs, you are seeing the red flags. What's stopping you from walking away?
I think for most people don't even know what those red flags are. Like you say, for me, I can relate totally with what you're saying. If you have road rage, I'm telling myself, you know, those are signs. Those are signs. You see some people going to an extent where this guy will tell you, like, maybe they can't marry you because you're too fat. Oh, how will you look in your wedding dress, And then it starts from there, from the moment that you're trying to be perfect for him, or you're not wife material because you don't do this or you don't have this. So even before you got married, he's already sending you all those messages, but you're not seeing, you're not listening. So where can we start to stop these things, just to notice those signs? I want us to start from the grassroots, probably, noticing those signs before we get too deep, where we find ourselves we can't even leave.
So from the grassroots, I'm looking at, if you're venturing into a relationship whereby you find there are some things that you cannot relate to, or you can relate to in a negative way. Try and resolve them before they go too far. Some people may change and some will not, but it does not necessarily mean there's going to be domestic abuse or violence, even if you've got these negative things that you're finding in somebody, because the whole idea of finding or dating someone is to get to know them, get to understand them. Maybe they've got past trauma, they've got past history where abuse was the norm in their household. So you need to get to understand somebody and where they're coming from. So they say charity begins at home. If you're not taught to be kind from home, you cannot be kind to a stranger. That's why I say love is something that you just pass on. Because when you meet, even when I meet you, I love you as a sister. But where do you draw the line with love? Do you draw the line when a knife is deep into your stomach or into your chest, into your heart? No. Try and see the telltale signs before it's too late. And especially, we bottle things up. We don't talk about things. The more you keep bottling things up, you come to work with a black eye and you're wearing sunglasses. You're covering up for whatever is happening. It does not look good on you. It reflects badly on you because you're a bad example to your own children. If you can stick around for someone to make you a punch bag, whether you are a man or a woman, be sure to walk away, with your 2 feet and your 2 hands whilst you still can. Some people
So you're
have
saying
left
it's okay to
relationships.
divorce. So
It's
in
okay to
that case,
divorce. It's okay
so
to
why are
divorce.
Christians, we are having another conversation today as well, and most Christians are totally disagree with the idea of divorce. They're like, no.
Well, this is now the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I abide by the Bible very
Mm-hmm.
much.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible teaches you to be kind. The Bible
Mm-hmm.
teaches you to be good. The Bible does
Mm-hmm.
not teach you to be beaten up and to go and get a pastor to resolve your issues and you go
Mm-hmm.
home and say everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
No. Even those pastors, they are probably abusing their own wives and husbands at home. They
Mm-hmm.
are human beings like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So church sometimes to me becomes a hypocritical organization, if I am to say. There's too many hypocrites in church than there is in the outside world out there. You find
Yeah.
people can go and sit in a pub or in a bar drinking, they're
Mm-hmm.
enjoying. They share that in common. And when they leave, they don't part ways in difficult situations. But you go to
Mm-hmm.
church, pointing fingers. You are chatting about, oh, have you seen what she's wearing today? That's not being holy. People call themselves holier than thou, and
Mm.
when you are holier than thou, I find you become very, very derogatory in terms of trying to keep everyone
And
together when
resistant
they
to
shouldn't.
any. Absolutely. Hi, you girl. Welcome, welcome,
I
welcome. You found us in the middle of a discussion. I'm so
Yeah,
happy you're
sorry, I
here
was a
with
bit
us.
late.
Hello,
I
Introduce yourself
I
and
have
as you
you.
join us,
I'm
Uh,
Everjoy.
Lady
Nice to
E.
meet you, Fatima.
yes, I am Fatma, known as Sonia. Nice to meet you too.
Oh, nice to meet you, my
I
dear.
I don't think I missed out much because I was listening, but I was just around the camera.
That's all right, Sonia. Sonia,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
from the
yeah.
Christian context, we're talking about domestic violence, domestic abuse, and stuff. And we've mentioned
Yeah.
about there's different sorts of abuses. Some people just think it's the physical. There's financial that people don't even talk about. There's financial abuse. It's like it's still a taboo to talk about financial abuse because all they're married, so their money is one and stuff. But whoa, we need to talk about that. There's emotional abuse, yeah, where a lot of people still don't understand there's such kind of emotional abuse. People don't understand it. So anyway, you're a Muslim. What's the Muslim teaching on matters divorce, matters domestic violence and stuff? What is the Muslim teaching? Because Christians they
Wow.
hate divorce.
I think so do Muslims. I think every religion they hate divorce. And I think every religion the teachings are that women are below man. You should obey your man, you should do this, you should do that. But I don't see anywhere whereby they say that women have rights. So if we
Mm,
go to religion, it is compressed to one's desire. It is
mm-hmm,
not actually what any religion says. I don't think any religion will deprive a woman of her rights.
mm-hmm,
But I think the way it is brought forward to us by the priests or Qadi or whoever you want to call it,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
they misguide us in that way. And then it comes from our parents. Oh,
mm-hmm,
your
Mm,
father used to beat me up, so it's okay. It's just something normal. No, it
mm-hmm,
is not normal. I condemn that totally.
mm-hmm,
It is not normal. But this is how we've been brought up.
mm-hmm,
At school, if you see a boy is teasing a girl,
mm-hmm.
ah, that's what boys do. But
Boys
if
are
a
being
girl will,
boys.
yes, boys are being boys. But if a girl will tease a boy, the report will go and like, how can you do that? You're a woman. You're not supposed to
You're
do
a
that.
woman. You're supposed to be a lady. You can't be
Yes,
this. You
yes.
can't that.
We
Mm-hmm.
have a very big issue of choosing a gender. I think the whole society is a genderist. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that we don't accept it, but yes, we are genderists.
Mm-hmm.
And we give more privilege to male than female. If a woman
Mm-hmm.
is beaten up at home, she must
Mm.
have done something wrong.
Uh-huh.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
There's a first
Uh-huh.
thing which is been told. Because even
Mm-hmm.
if you go to your neighbor and say, I was beaten up today, first question, what did you do?
What did you do?
Yes, not why it happened.
or
What did you
already,
do?
already you are presumed guilty before you even
Yes,
Guilty.
present your case. So,
yes,
so
you
who do
judge.
you go to? Who do you go
Who do
to?
you
Who
go
do you
to?
turn
Your
to?
parents don't want you back home because you're a
Your
married
parents are
woman.
saying it's okay to stick around in
It's
an
okay.
abusive relationship.
I was also
Your
beaten.
father used to do that to me, and I stayed. I'm still here, but that's not the way to go.
And the
No, it
church
is
don't
not.
want to hear of
We
it
are
as
in
well.
the 21st century now, where women should know their place in
Mm-hmm.
society. We are equals with men,
Mm-hmm.
and the same goes for men. They should know their place as well. They are equals with women. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you bring children up into this world,
Mm-hmm.
what legacy are you going to leave behind? A
Mm-hmm.
legacy that says you can punch your wife, you can kick her left, right, and center, or you
Mm-hmm.
can punch your husband and do whatever in front of your children. It's okay. No, it's not
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It's not okay.
I will tell you a little story where a husband used to come home late every single day,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a boy child. So the boy child had a little friend who was a girl from another family as well. And one day they all came together as couples and their two children.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? The kids were playing husband and wife. When they play those little pots and they're cooking
Yeah,
and
yeah,
serving each
yeah. We
other.
did those,
So
yeah.
this little girl goes and serves the little boy with food, and the little boy hits the plate, and she just went like that. So it was a sign that there was domestic abuse happening in
Manti
both
see, Manti
households.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Him, to him,
in
a
both
man
households.
character is, you know.
Exactly. So
Oh
your
goodness
children
me.
learn from you. So
Yes,
what
true.
are you teaching your children when you are
Mm-hmm.
beating your wife or your husband up in front of them?
Mm-hmm.
You are telling them or teaching them that domestic violence or violence and abuse is normal. So when you grow up in a household where everything is normal, including violence, come on, you need to be open and honest with each other from the beginning when you're getting into your relationships. you know there are things that we brush aside and say, oh, it won't happen again. Yeah, when it happens for the first time, it may be just a near miss, and I'll just go like, I'll slap you, and I don't slap you, but that's a telltale sign. I divorced my husband because of that. He raised his hand on me once, and I
Uh,
stood up to him and said, go ahead, do it. He didn't
yes,
do
and
it.
I'll
He
support
wouldn't
you.
dare.
Why? Because Oprah Winfrey said, when people show you their character the first time, believe them. When people show you
So
their character the
I
first
believe,
time,
yeah, I believed
believe
it when
them.
I saw it was exposed to me right in my face.
Exposed to you.
Yeah. And I'm
That is what I
thinking,
say. If you
do,
hit the
do I
wall,
really want to stay here? No,
mm,
that was
no.
not for me. Mm-mm.
Wow, wow,
And that
wow.
was it.
Yeah. So in this case study, let's use this lady as a case study, the one that the gospel singer. So who failed this gospel singer? That is what I always wanted to know from people. Who failed this gospel singer? Because she did confide in some people who later on brought it to the world. We would have never known. We would have never known what was happening to her. Mm-hmm.
You would think the pastor or the friends that she went to and told about whatever was happening would actually come to a rescue and say, you know what, it's time to move forward, move on. But they didn't. They kept encouraging her to stay. So the community that we believe in and say these are our friends, we call them family, where I live, it's a gated community where we've got people, about 5 houses here. So if I'm going through what I'm going through and I'm telling my neighbor's wife there that my husband beats me up, or when they come, we've got a case like that actually here in this estate. This man is a narcissist, and narcissists like control. So when they have control, they feel very big, they feel big.
Powerful.
So this man, the wife does not even have a cell phone, a mobile phone. He keeps the wife's mobile phone. She does not call anybody. He calls uh, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And she does not speak. He speaks on her behalf. And
Mm-hmm.
the children have since picked up on that and they've left home, but they worry about the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the red flags are there. But you start questioning, why is she staying there? She's never worked. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand why, because some for financial reasons, she's comfortable. So she will
Mm.
put up with him because of financial, stability.
Security.
Stability.
But
Yeah.
that's not how life should be.
Mm-mm.
You can even go and get a cleaning job as soon as yesterday and start cleaning and making your own money
Yeah. Yeah.
without the narcissistic behavior in the
Mm-hmm.
house. The
I'll tell
minute
you
you leave a
what.
narcissist behind, they
Yeah.
become very, very aggressive.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
probably why our sister lost her life, because
Lost her
she
life.
may at some point have wanted to leave, And he stopped her by making sure she didn't leave breathing.
Yeah. What people don't realize is that sometimes people feed from each other. Of the
Oh yeah.
victim and the perpetrator, sometimes it becomes a dependent relationship. That's why some people, they don't even wait to be told to go back to their spouses, abusive spouses, because they become so accustomed to the abuse that they feel it's
Mm.
normal. They crave for it and they want it, so they
Yeah.
go back to it. And the abuse as well relies on that person. They rely on their strength, their power, the feel of everything by abusing that person. So they have a correlationship that people don't understand. People don't understand, why don't you just leave? You're financially stable. Let's say, for instance, if she's working, you're financially stable, your family would support you. Why are you still there? You know, those are some of the things that we forget. We forget, and that's why some people stay
I
crazy.
think the biggest factor ladies face, like female face, is what will people say?
What will
What will
people
my
say?
mother say?
Mm-hmm.
What will the community say? But we
Mm-hmm.
keep on forgetting that it is you who's being beaten up. It
Mm-hmm.
is you and your children who are going to suffer, not your
Mm.
neighbor, not your community, not your mother, not your mother in law, no
Mm-hmm.
one, but it is you. And the fear of going out to work because they live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic violence is not something easy to digest. Yes, the wounds will heal, but the imprints don't heal.
Mm.
And this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
people need counseling to get out of it because they're in so much fear that they even fear to go to the washroom. There
Yeah.
are
Mm.
some stages whereby
Mm.
they fear, they wake up at night in fear that they'll be beaten up. Some
Mm.
even fear
Mm.
eating alone, that they'll be beaten
Mm.
up if they eat without the husband. So
Mm.
they are like slaves. I would call them digital slaves.
Mm.
Mm. Mm.
Free labor without pay.
Mm.
That's free labor because all you do is stay at home, cook, clean, you do a labor's job, make your husband happy, make him
Mm.
babies, and that is it. That is your life. You
Mm.
have
To
no
me,
identity of
that's a
yourself.
lifetime job, and women
Yeah,
should be
Mm.
paid for it. If you're
Mm-hmm.
a house
I agree
husband or
with
a
you.
housewife, you should be paid. It's a job because you are
Yes,
minding the house 24/7. He is
Mm.
yes.
going to wherever he calls work, or she is going wherever she calls work,
Mm.
whilst you are slaving in the house, cooking, making sure the dishes, you're keeping the house in order. That's a job.
It's a job.
That's a very,
Yeah.
very expensive job to do.
Yeah.
You've got the children to look after, picking, dropping off school, doing shopping, you're doing everything.
Mm.
You're multitasking. So if
Mm.
you're a man who's a houseman or a wife who's a housewife, you
Mm.
are doing a brilliant job of keeping the whole family together. And that's a big
Mm.
job that somebody
Mm.
should be paid for, you know. I know of a wife who went and claimed that from court when the husband was divorcing her. She said, I
Mm.
was working. So
Mm.
the judge asked, what were you doing, ma'am? He said, every day you will come home, you will take his shoes off, take his socks, you
Yeah.
throw them there,
And
I'll
you
pick
know
them up,
what?
you take his
Most
shirt
women
off.
say that they
Yeah.
don't work. Most women will be, I'm a housewife. They dismiss themselves just because they don't have like a day job they go to, and they'll be like, "No, I don't work. I'm a
No,
housewife."
work is not about going to a 9 to 5 job or to a 7 to 7 job to a shift. No. The
Mm-mm.
work that you do at home should be acknowledged. You should be appreciated for whatever you do because you're
Mm.
keeping the household together. You're keeping the
No,
house
yeah.
clean. You're
Some
keeping the environment
If you
clean
are
for
not doing
everyone.
it, somebody
Yeah,
else will have to be paid for it,
of
isn't it?
course. Yeah,
Mm.
that's why people hire cleaners. That's why people
Mm.
hire people to do ironing. That's why
Mm.
people hire somebody to mow the lawn outside.
Mm.
But
Mm.
you are doing everything. You are mowing the lawn. You are cutting the hedge. You're doing everything. So it's a job.
Mm.
You should be getting paid for it.
Yeah.
And
So let's
how
go
long have
back
you
to
been?
this case study. Timothy, well, thank you so much for popping and supporting us. And this is an open discussion, guys. So it will be nice to hear your own views. So far, we've said it's okay to leave. See the signs, leave. Don't wait until you've been stabbed. Don't wait until you die and stabbed. So yeah, welcome, guys, and tag your friends. Tell them you're on and say hello to us so that you know you're still there. So back to this case study. This lady actually, I think she made money from her gospel music. So for her, it wasn't necessarily
about
the
money.
money. It wasn't necessarily about the money, no. But she still stayed, and he still kept on doing it. So for her, the people who are claiming that it's religion to be blamed on this, because religion made us stay and stay. You know, you get what I'm
Do you
coming
know?
from.
Do you know when I can relate to the situation where church gets involved into our affairs
Mm,
at home, and I wish these pastors could preach or practice what they preach
mm,
or preach what they practice. But
mm,
unfortunately, we are all human beings. And
mm.
a decision that one has to make is a decision that's suitable for them. You have to think of number one. What does
Yes.
number one want? And number one is me. If I want to be abused in a
Mm,
relationship, I'll
mm,
stick around. I'll go and ask for advice. People will give you advice, but the last say is on you. So,
yeah.
as much as this happened, it's a shame
Mm,
that it happened. Had she realized earlier that this was not for her, she should have
mm,
taken off and left him.
mm,
But she chose to stay. Reasons why she stayed, maybe because of the children. She
mm,
could see the children suffering in his hands, and she decided to stay. I don't know. And men usually
mm,
threaten women with children and say, "Oh, I'll take them." Even women, we threaten
mm,
men with children. You will not see
mm.
your children. You will not see
And
your
that's
children.
abuse. That's
This
abuse.
is abuse. Yeah,
Mm.
because you're now using children as pawns of whatever quest you have to fulfill. So
Yeah,
you too,
yeah.
as adults, you need to sort yourselves
We
out.
are bad
If the
administrators.
marriage is not working, there is
Mm,
somebody for everyone out there.
mm,
You
yeah.
can be married to somebody, but he may not be the right person for you. The
Mm,
telltale signs are there. If that man, the gone are the days when women used to be the chef in the house every single day. Men
mm,
should also cook. And gone are the
mm,
days when men would go hunting, because women can go hunting too. We all,
mm,
only the only difference is we hunt differently. Some
mm,
go into the bush and they catch a big chunk of meat and bring home, and
mm,
some go and hustle and bring money home. So
mm,
the whole concept of hustling or going to fish is to bring something onto the table, something
mm,
that
Yes.
one has to earn your respect from. So if you are
mm,
earning and you are doing the best you can to meet
mm,
your daily demands and
mm,
you're bringing your fair share, I don't see how you shouldn't be treated as an equal. I don't see how you should put up with somebody who's abusive to the point of even slapping you, and you allow it to happen first time, second time, third
mm,
time, fourth time.
mhm,
No,
mhm,
seize the idea that our parents grew up seeing all this, and they stuck around. Our
mm,
fathers were not brave enough to step our mothers.
mm,
If only they could speak now and tell us, I wish I had moved on. I wish I
mm,
had gone. I wish I had done things differently. But
mm,
it's too late. So, for those who are listening, it's not too late to do what is best for you. Look after
mhm.
yourself. When was the last time you bought yourself a new pair of panties as a woman? When was the last
That
time
you like,
you
not that
even
he
went
likes.
and just
That you
picked
want.
something and said, I want to go to End Summers and spoil myself with very nice lingerie? When was
Mhm,
the last time you did that? Spoil yourself, because life is too long. I don't believe in life is too short. Life is too long. Enjoy while you still can. You are
yeah.
working for it. Find time to
To
give
enjoy.
yourself that value that I believe in myself,
Mm,
and spoil yourself, because you deserve it. You are deserving of the good things that you do for yourself. Don't expect anyone to do them for you.
mm,
Men will earn your respect if you do things for yourself. Some men are intimidated by independent women. And I like
mm,
the idea of a man being intimidated by an independent woman. Because the minute he finds that you are under him and you are going, every time, thank you, thank you. Ladies, even men, don't be a man that relies on a woman for everything. Work for your own hustle, and when it's time to pay for even a beer round in England here, they say the culture is you go to a pub, you buy a round, you don't expect someone else to be buying for you. so
mm,
so create your own community of friends who share the same values as you do. the community of friends that see things the way you see things, the community of friends that allow you to be you, not to limit you from being yourself. Be the person that you want to be. When you are around other people and when you are on your own, be the version of yourself that you want to be.
Mm. Mm.
True.
You know what? People forget. I think people feel like maybe they just don't love each other. They feel like they're not deserving of everything. They're not deserving of good things. But they have to understand that even if you believe you are a Christian or you believe in God or whatever, you have to know God doesn't put you here to suffer. He's not really into you like being beaten. If He says your body is at His temple, do you think He enjoys it being beaten? Do you think He enjoys and likes you suffering and stuff? You know?
Listen, God Himself, we keep referencing God because that's what we believe in. God
Mm,
Himself had 12 disciples.
mm,
He chose 12 men that He said, these will be my followers.
mm,
Everywhere I go, they'll be with me.
mm,
Out of the 12, He picked three that He says, these are my chosen ones.
mm,
Because they shared the same value with Him, they were consistent.
mm.
Out of the three, He only chose one and He said, this is the special one. What was wrong with the others? He saw their weaknesses and he accepted them the way they were.
Mm,
But not to say you go full blown with them and show them everything that he had to share with John the Baptist. No, he chose John for a reason. John was humble. John was down to earth. John would not open his mouth and repeat what he has seen. He was a good person. So find your own Esther's if you're a woman, and find your own Jones, Simon Peter Jones, if you're a man. Who are they? Because sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we want to please everybody before we please ourselves.
mm.
Wrong way to do things. Make sure you look
Why you
after
look after
yourself.
yourself?
Make
Mm,
sure you believe in yourself and put yourself first before anyone else.
mm,
What does Eva Joy want? This is what I always look at. And I always say, me,
mhm,
if I'm in love with somebody, it's because they've got money. If they don't have money, you won't see them
mhm,
around me. No, I
mhm.
love money because the word love to me does not mean anything. If I
Mm.
want a man to sleep with, I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna say it as it is.
There,
If I
there,
want a man to shag, I can
there are
go and
many,
pay for a shag.
and it can be
I
paid
don't
for.
need to find a man to say, oh, I need a man. You can pay for a shag. So what stops you from being yourself and just be you and not allow somebody to make you a punch bag or to turn you into something that you're not. You
Mm.
live with a monster, you put up with a monster.
So, yeah, what you're saying, we've dismissed the fact that children are keeping you, and we've dismissed the sexual bait that you can find it elsewhere. We've dismissed
Yes.
money. We've said money, you can even be a cleaner somewhere and still be
And you can
make
even
a
get
living and still be.
better one somewhere.
So if we take all this and you stop caring what people are saying, and you have your community within you, you can survive this.
You can survive.
Of course, you
You
can.
need
Yeah.
to have supporting networks, people who support you. There are groups out there. You know,
Mm,
I'm part of the Soroptimist for a reason because
mm,
I want to empower the girl child. So
mm,
when I look at where I am, if I can
mm,
speak about domestic violence with
mm,
young girls in school and make them understand that you should never put up with a man calling you something that you're not. If
mm,
someone calls you a slut, you grow up thinking I'm a slut. What's the
mm,
next thing? School
mhm.
is dropped, and then I'm becoming a slut for you because this is what was prophesied about me. Believe
Yes, yes,
in
yes,
yourself
yes.
and believe in better.
Mm-hmm.
You can do better.
I'll tell you a real story. Sometimes my son and I will have a conversation, but because he's a boy, he's always been a boy. He can have some banters here and there, and some of his banters, there could be innocent in a way, but because now I know my boundaries and I know the things that you can say and can't say, and I know that the things that you shouldn't say anyway, whether you think they're innocent or that things we shouldn't say. So we'll be having a meal or a conversation, and you'll joke about something. Oh, like, oh, mom, you don't get it. You're so stupid. And you're like, no, he doesn't use exactly those same words, but I don't allow him to use such language. And he'll be like, oh, no, you can't even take a joke. And I'm like, that's the second thing again you've said. And he'll be like confused. Oh, you mean but boundaries we can't do that? I'm like, no, we can do them, but we don't have to call each other names. We don't have to use certain sort of languages. And I explained to him that. And I think sometimes he gets confused because not so long ago, those are things that I would have just laughed at. But words have power. Words have power, and just because he's a boy, they have those kind of boy banter. You know, boys can take it extreme. They like the extreme kind of banter.
Yeah.
And like, no, there are things we can't say anymore. Oh my God. Oh,
Nicole, can you check the
somebody.
messages?
Yeah, I
There
have
is
that here.
somebody who is
Yeah,
like,
put user in timeout, block
I,
user. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's
yeah,
been
just
saying.
block him.
Yeah.
Oof,
Oh, okay, thank you for
we
that.
have
Oh my
crazy people
goodness
on
me.
this earth. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and my computer died as well, so I don't know whether somebody sent me something. It just went like it
Doom.
died in a funny way. It just and then it's left
Oh,
a
you got a
green of zero.
virus.
Somebody's, but it's kind of paid for protection, so I'm hoping. I don't know how they would have managed to get through, but I don't know. And then apparently these ones they can't send you viruses that easily, but I don't know. I'm just hoping that person didn't send me something. Yeah. So
I hope so too.
yeah, so this domestic thing, I'm so glad we're talking about this, but it's a shame that people don't want to hear some things yet. People have still blocked out some topics. And then if you're a single woman and you try, oh, I thought I blocked him. um oh goodness me, what do you do? um
Is there a way you
oh,
can report this
that's
person?
so determined. Did I use a different account or what? So anyway, somebody's trying to send us some bad stuff. I hope they didn't go through at all. So yeah, with the domestic abuse kind of thing, it's a shame that we've not made the decision to come out of it. Because I believe if somebody is empowered enough, they will come out of it. They will check the signs, they will know the signs, and they will come out of it. But the problem is we're still in a lot of denial, a lot of what somebody will say. We are so stuck in so many ways, and I'm hoping that we can start a new vibe, a new generation,
Wow.
some ripple effect to get people out of this mindset and save our girls from dying. We want this to stop. It shouldn't
Do you know?
That
even
Do
be
you
is
know?
a
happening.
Do you
long
know?
run.
Do you know what I find upsetting the most?
Mm,
It's okay when someone is being punched and whatever, and they're saying, "Oh, he won't do it again," and then you get
mm.
punched again and say, "Oh, you won't do it again."
I won't do it again, and
Sometimes
you're back.
we put ourselves in that situation.
Mm,
It becomes the norm, and we don't want to leave. But
mm,
we've gone past the stage where we beg people to leave. No. The
mm,
minute you see a sign coming, please
mm,
leave. If it's a man or a woman, you can find another husband, you can find another wife. Just
mm.
leave.
Just leave.
There's no
Your
point
children
staying
can
in a
find another mother.
relationship. We have to be real. Sometimes
Mm,
we have to be real and we have to be realistic about things.
mm,
Because the more we keep brushing things and saying, oh, marriage is what do they say about marriage? Marriage is what's the word? I'm forgetting the word. But sacred. There's nothing sacred about you being punched in the name of marriage. Come on, nothing
mm.
to quantify you being punched or slapped
Brag
in the
about
name of
that.
marriage.
Mm,
No,
yeah,
it's time
yeah.
to say, you know what, this is not working for me. First time it
Mm,
happens, One strike is enough for somebody to hit the door. You can
You see,
find help in a lot of places, sheltered
mm,
housing, wherever.
mm,
Just
mm,
go.
let's go.
I witnessed a sister. If this one would come here and tell you a story,
Mm,
and you see how strong she is.
mm,
She developed a relationship with a ex-husband,
mm,
and because she grew up in a household where mom was married to mom was in a second marriage.
mm,
So she and her brother were treated like second class children
citizen.
in the household where mom was
Mm,
married. And
mm.
mom kept putting that aside, just to
Justifying
maintain her
them,
marriage.
yeah, pretending it's not happening.
In the end, mom had to separate herself from her two children, and
Mm,
she put them up with their uncle. Uncle was raping this woman
mm-hmm.
from a child, and this is like kindergarten. Probably we're looking at maybe year
Oh,
7, year 8, year 9, and she's being raped by mom's brother because and she couldn't tell mom because
no,
no one no
she didn't listen the first
mom was
time.
concentrating on her marriage.
On love.
She's scarred for life, scarred for life. And even after she found her husband, whom she thought she had found somebody,
Yeah,
he then became abusive at some point.
yeah,
And he kept repeating everything that happened to her in
it
her
happened to
face.
her.
And in that,
Yeah,
that's emotional distress you're causing to somebody who's already been traumatized wherever they
mm,
were. But when we met here in UK, I could see what was happening. And I said
mm-hmm,
to her, as a sister, you may not agree with me, but I don't think this man is the right man for you. Oh, Eva Joy, don't. And I said, I'm telling you, he's not the right man for you. If you live with this man, there'll come a point when you even start pulling even your hair out and punching you to the walls. It happened one day. And this is maybe 2, 3 years down the line. It happened. It was the first daughter who contacted the police to say my dad is hitting my mom, and he got arrested. And he did pull. She had locks. He pulled the hair. When hair is coming off, it's
it's so
painful.
painful. It's so
It's
painful.
painful.
Mm,
So, do you want to stay in a relationship where you keep seeing the telltale signs? Somebody is using coercive behavior.
mm,
Somebody is pulling you, you know, towards them all the time. Don't talk to anybody. Don't controlling you. Do
mm,
you want to live in a relationship where you see a pattern? It's a pattern.
mm.
It can be in different ways, but it's a pattern. When he tells you you are ugly today, tomorrow he'll tell you you are fat. The day after he'll tell you so and so is better than you. The day
Mm.
after, so and you're still there trying
Yeah,
to be better for
you'd be
him.
like, oh, I don't sleep with you anymore. I sleep with so
Be
and so because
better
she's
for
prettier.
yourself. Be
Yeah,
better for yourself.
yeah, they
Be
do that.
better for yourself.
We really need to learn and appreciate. Sorry, dear, I could hear echo, so I was
And
muting
and
you.
and and, and there are other relationships where people have had children and they go their separate ways. The problem now becomes when after you've left each other, you left each other because there were issues.
Mm,
Why would you then allow that man into your bed or that woman into your bed again?
mm,
Because now you are using each other, right?
mm.
Go and pay for sex than to call your ex-husband or ex-wife to come and sleep with you in your
I
house.
like the way you're just saying it loosely.
Because I've seen a woman. We had a Zimbabwean sister who was murdered in Leicester. She left. She was killed
Mm-hmm.
in front of her children, stabbed 16 times.
Mm. Oh
Another
no.
Zimbabwean woman was murdered in Southend there, chopped with an axe.
Yeah.
Another one was killed and raped with a carpet and left to rot in a house. And her daughter was taken by neighbors for some time. Do you know where mom was? So, do you want to leave your children suffering? Do you want to leave your children living the life of orphans because you have allowed it? Do not allow that to happen, please.
Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah.
It's a long
I
road, but
it's
the more we speak openly and honestly and frankly, be frank about the way you speak. Don't beat about. Yes, it's a sensitive subject, but for somebody to understand, sometimes you need a hammer and a nail to make them understand that domestic abuse is not the only way to live. There are
mm,
other ways to live.
absolutely,
And it starts
absolutely.
with you knowing that I've seen the signs and now it's time to take off before it's too late.
Yeah. Absolutely. All you're saying, I agree, I agree, I agree. I just want to add some few points that I think it's worth noting for people to know. When you're looking into the signs, just make sure that immediately somebody, okay, I'm also having an echo from my end. Immediately somebody like wants to separate you from your friends, know that they want to control you, they want you, they'll use any weapon they have. They'll start telling you maybe, oh, you remember Eva Joy? She did this to you. She remind you bad things about Eva Joy.
Mm, mm.
I don't know why I'm getting echo. So hold on a minute. Um, they'll start telling you sad things and separating you from your friends. They'll remind you the bad things your friends did to you, so that they ensure that you are wholly there, so that they can control you. They want to control anything that will give you independence. They want to control your finances. First, they'll start in a nice way because they studied you and they know your weaknesses. They know how gullible you are in what areas, because they took time to study you. The problem with us women, especially when you're dating, we talk too much. We say a little bit too much. We let them know us a little bit too much. You don't take time to listen to him. You don't take time to get to know him. You take all your time you're using to please him, to show him that you can cook, that you're a good wife material. You're not looking at these signs. You're not listening to him either. You're not listening. All we do is talk. Oh, my last boyfriend used to beat me. My last boyfriend did this to me. He did that. And he's like taking notes. Okay. And you keep on, and you're talking, and you're telling all about all the sexes. So, and you've told them about your friends. Oh, you saw Sonia did this to me. Now he knows about everything and everybody. All these things will be up against you. They'll be used against you. And you'll wonder how he knows you so much. And that's why you never know when you're being abused sometimes. Because he starts slowly. He will start with the finances. When you put our money together, then they'll work better and stuff. I manage money better than you. I'm good with money. And then it will start to one part. Oh, now we are married. Now it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to share account or something like that. It's not at all. And then it will be all your friends start disappearing. All your parents, they don't like me. They tried me a lot. You saw how your mom said this about me. Oh, you should have married from your tribe. And you're like, yeah, my parents don't like him. By the time you realize it's just you and him. And some go to the extent of separating you with the kids. So it will be, oh, I don't know, your mom did this, or your dad did this, or your dad is like this. And so your dad, and they separate you and separate you and separate you. So they're controlling all aspects of your life. If it's Facebook or social media, they'll be like, oh, social media is affecting our relationship. You're always there. And then, I don't know, you're always chatting to these people. You don't chat to me. And then you leave social media. Oh, when you go out with your friends, I don't know. By the time you realize it's just the two of you, and then now it starts. Nobody likes you. You see, all your friends left you. Oh, you can't even manage money. You don't even have money. Where are your savings? And you can't even reason that I don't have it because you're the one controlling our finances. You see, and that's how all the abuse happen. Girl, don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you get there. That is one thing. Don't wait. Don't wait. Read those signs immediately. Sorry, I muted you again. So yeah.
Well, there is one thing I don't understand with women. Now, we are funny creatures. Me being a woman, I don't understand women, seriously. Very many of us are single mothers.
Mm.
Cater for ourselves, we cater for our children. We still find that time to look for a useless man who's going to come and make my life miserable. But then the minute he says, I love you, baby, everything is okay.
Hey,
Oh, Chaparagasha.
Yeah, it's like you've been gifted, I don't know what. You've been taken to heaven.
Yeah.
this is why I'm saying, love is a decision that one has to make. if it's love that you want to eat, if it's love that you want to buy clothes for you, then if love will buy clothes, then be it. But to me, the minute you make a decision about, most women as well, like you said, that we are quick to talk about things.
Oh,
We forget that we
Yes.
are dating. We come out of the dating zone within 2 minutes of
one
meeting
night.
somebody,
Mhm.
and then the next thing you are
Oh,
in
that's not
love.
even bad. You're already
Uh,
planning the wedding. You met him
I'm
the
in
first time.
love. What is love exactly? How did you fall in love overnight? You know what I mean? And most women as well, and most men, they believe, if we have sexual attachments without protection, that's love. No, 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 no. That's not love. Come on, that's just sex. It's meaningless. You can have sex with a baboon. You can have sex. It's meaningless sex. One thing you ought to realize is, the minute you are sleeping with one partner to the other, to the other, to the other, because it's one day when this person will say, you know what, I'm not really into you the way you are into me, and they walk away. You'll be hurt. So don't
Mm,
open your heart to things that will hurt you.
mm.
Put closure. Put a seal on your heart, and just believe that when love comes, it will show up, and it will be the right person for you. The
It will
person
be
that
all
you're probably
pure.
seeing, or the person that you're living with now, you probably are still dating, because you started dating, and then you just decided you were in love. When
Mm,
love never came, it never came, because when he starts punching you now, that's when you realize, oh my God, what have I done?
And
Because you
sometimes you
fell
find
too
that
quick.
10 years later, you don't even know what you did with your 10 years. You don't know what
Oh
happened
yeah,
in your life. You have no recollection. You've not developed. In fact, you've gone backwards from where your parents left to, maybe the kind of education, with what. There's nothing else you ever did. Last 10 years unaccounted for, just gone.
just gone.
Gone. Self-esteem gone. I don't know, friends gone. Name it, gone. We have to be really careful when you're separating things and knowing things. This thing
Yeah,
is deep and complicated. It's really deep. So now there's something you mentioned that I wanted to come back to, about women, that you don't understand women. I will defend women a little bit on this. Why? We tend to attract what we are, and we tend to attract the patterns, the loop. When you're in a certain situation, that's why a lot of people who are in like an abusive, they were sexually abused, they tend to marry such a person who is sexually abusive, or if they are physically abused, because you've not dealt with that, you've not broken out of that, and you can't see anything clearly out of that. And that's why you will immediately you meet that person, you think you're in love with that person, but you're just saying things that are familiar to you, that you can connect to, but you're not really in love. You don't know this person yet. Yeah. So those signs to you are supposed to be warning signs, but you're seeing them as happily ever after, planning the wedding, but day two. But
mm,
yeah, your dad was abusive. You see anybody who has such characteristics, such traits, and because you associate that with love, there you are, telling your friends how you met your dream man. Yeah. Oh, met my
Mm.
dream man. What do you know about him? Oh, he works at Kalu Works. Anything else you know about him? I know he's got a BMW. Anything else you know about him? Oh, he's got a big house. Okay. Anything of substance?
No.
Anything else of substance? You're in love with this person, aside from his
Yep.
car, aside which we can
I
see, apart from his work, which we can see. What do you know about this person? Literally nothing. And then the next day, the next oh, we are, I'll say it in Swahili, tunashona nguo za harusi. The next thing we know, we are all being measured, and we are trying on wedding clothes, and soon we'll be bridesmaids and everything. Yeah. And we don't know anything about this man. And all your girlfriends are saying, they're off, off, off. But they can't bring it up because they'll hurt you. Yeah. And even if they did, you won't even listen. 10 years later, you're in a coffin. So yeah, I don't know if somebody wants to start summarizing for us any points we've not talked about, anything that was important to mention. I'm seeing people who are quiet today. They've not asked any question or told us anything, their own experiences. Sorry guys, do tell us so that we know what. But we've said it's okay to divorce. That one we
Do you
agree.
know, I like it when
Perfectly
there are no
said.
questions to ask sometimes, because people will be doing a reality check on themselves. And it's good that people listen, and they start weighing their options. Am I in the right
Mm,
place? Those are the
mm,
questions people will be asking themselves when they hear
mm,
topics like this. It's not
mm-hmm,
easy to come forward and ask a question, because people will point fingers and say, oh, because she asked, she's going through it. You may be
mm,
asking for a friend, you may be asking for a relative, but even
mm,
more so, ask for yourself as well. There are
mm,
different ways of seeking help, and there's too many helplines, especially in this country. Too many. The
mm,
Samaritans, the Soroptimists were a group of women who support women and the girl child. So
mm.
there's plenty of domestic violence
Yeah.
helplines out
Sonia, you
there.
also do
Just
something to support women, don't you? You have, is it just children do you do, or do you do even women? I thought you
Well,
do that.
with the Fumoja Foundation, we deal with children, and we are
Mm,
trying to help single mothers. But I do have my own WhatsApp group whereby we help stressed out people who have been battered, who've been raped.
mm,
mm,
Somebody is like not okay in the mind. We do
mm,
help out, but that's something personally I do. It's not with an
mm.
organization. Though I would like to join with the organization, like uh,
Yeah,
like Eve said that in UK you do have these
we have
helplines, blah blah.
systems. Yeah.
You can
Mm,
go somewhere if you're kicked out of your house,
mm.
but in Kenya we don't have that option.
There's not, no. For
We don't
us,
have
I'll ask
shelters
you to
for
leave.
women.
I call the
so
police, and you are the one
maybe
who
it's
leave.
time you advocate for such things to start happening. Lobby the
Mm,
government.
mm,
Here in the UK, we've lobbied the government
mm,
to enter the domestic violence bill as
mm,
soroptimists, because we are there to influence the government to do right
mm,
by certain areas or aspects of the people that live in this country. So
mm,
if you've got a soroptimist group in Kenya, I'm sure it's there. Find
mm.
out, join them, and they do have influence with governments, because if a letter is written and stamped soroptimist, the government will be shaken and they'll do something about it.
Actually, why we can start a petition in that regard and see, because people need support. Sometimes people can't come out
True.
of this abuse. If your family won't, family know, they don't know any better. Your family, they can't even support you in that.
True.
Church will judge you. Where do you go? You know
So,
what?
some
What
You
do
some
you
o-
see,
some
do?
of it some of it people are subjected to domestic violence because of tribal issues,
Yeah. Mm,
well,
because of societal issues, and the community that is surrounding us as well plays a very big role in how we become as human beings living in a society, and then how people view us when we present ourselves. If
mm,
you find that this person is undergoing some kind of stress, have give an ear for just to listen. Sometimes it's
mm,
good for someone to offload, because they
mm,
don't know what else to do. They may
mm,
pick one or two things that you give them as a piece of advice to say, you know what,
mm,
if I was in your situation, maybe I would deal with it in this manner, or I would
mm,
do ABCD. Some
mm,
people are lacking information, some people are lacking awareness. We need to
mm,
raise that awareness. Even in
mm,
Africa, it's needed, because
mm,
Africa is where we were brought up, where we grew up, knowing that our father is the one person that's the breadwinner in the house.
mm,
But different backgrounds can tell different stories. In my
mm,
household, my mother never used to wait for my father to bring money into the house. She used to sell fruit and veg for a living. And
mm,
we all went to school. We all
mm,
ate, we all slept, we all were
mm,
clothed, and we all
mm,
bathed. So to me, anything that you can do to empower yourself,
mm,
if somebody finds it a threat, then it's time you stand up to them and tell them, because it starts with even bullying at school, like Sonia was saying,
mm.
that if a girl says something about a boy, oh, you're supposed to
Mm,
be a lady, you're supposed
then
to
it's
behave
back.
in this
It's
man.
okay.
But if a boy
Mm,
says it, it's okay, because these are
mm,
boys. No, we are all
mm.
equal. So the minute you see a bully, stand up to a
Mm,
bully. Bullies don't like people who stand up to them. And the best way to stand up to a bully is to walk away and let them
mm,
be the monster they want to be. They feel
mm,
disempowered that way. You know,
mm.
it's when they follow you
Yeah.
now to strike, then you strike back.
Mm,
So in any relationship that you are in, if you're finding that you are undermined, constantly undermined, you're constantly feeling pressured, feeling coerced, feeling,
mm.
exhausted because somebody keeps telling you the same things over and over and over again, like you are a dummy who
Treating
does
you
not
as a
understand or
child,
know what they are doing. Come on, that's a
and your
red flag.
self-esteem is gone. They're not
Red flag.
supporting you to do things. They're not supporting you. They'll always have an excuse. If you wanted to start a business, if you wanted to start a job, if you want to go into education, they'll be like, oh, you're too old for education now, it's too
Mm,
expensive. There's always
it's
an
never
excuse
too
for you
late.
not to. Yeah, they'll try and remind you of why you can't do things or why you shouldn't do things. Know that you're in an abusive relationship. And if you're not so sure, ask somebody, ask for support. And we should stop judging people. It might be their fault, they entered into that situation. It might not be their fault, whatever. When somebody comes for support, give that support at that time. Our lives matter. It's so important. Our lives as women matter. It's so important we support each other and we're there for each other. Help people. If you have really even little knowledge about it, help them come out of this. We have to really empower each other. We shouldn't let this continue happening. That's why we're having this conversation, and people still don't want such conversations. It's too serious. People want all those things that are shareable, where somebody I don't know has done what. We still want such things, but we don't want serious talk. And these things are happening. And these things are happening to smart people. These things are happening to beautiful people. I know a few beautiful people, like stunning, beautiful, who are domestically being abused. These things are happening to our sisters. These things are happening to people we know. So we
To
shouldn't
both,
pretend they're not happening. To
not
both.
forgetting it happens to both genders, to male
Yeah,
and
we do.
female.
We
It is
did
happening
agree,
to
and
both.
I do apologize again. We did agree that it happens to both. It's not just for me, female, but we said we are talking from a female point of view, and we tend to do that because being female and stuff. But I don't support any sort of violence. It doesn't matter, because women can
You
be really
see,
abusive and manipulative too. They can
you
be
see,
really
I
manipulative,
feel
and then
sorry.
yeah,
Okay,
that's why, yeah.
continue. Atal.
No,
I
no.
feel for the men, because for a woman even to speak to a friend that I'm
Yeah.
being abused, is that it is a bit easier. But for a male to talk to another male or a female that this is happening to me, you become a
Mm,
joke.
yeah.
So they are
And
more,
for the
they
male,
can't
the
speak. Yes.
sorry again. For the male, the emotional bit, they can't even explain it to anybody. When you're emotionally or psychologically abused, it's always hard to explain. Physical is easy, we can all say it. Yeah. Or he beats me up. Yeah. But psychological abuse, it's not easy to explain. You see a man who is always like, they have no confidence, they can't put themselves out there, they can't show up and stuff, because somebody has just put them right down so yeah, it does happen both ways. We don't disagree with that. Yeah, go on, Sonia. It's really
I think
important. I like that you're
culture,
supporting the man. Yeah.
well, I'm a biased. I don't take sides. I just speak what I feel. Like it should be for both because it's happening to both.
Yeah,
Mostly it's talked
absolutely.
about women are being abused, but there are men also who are being abused. It's just that people don't know because men don't talk about it, but it is
Mm-hmm.
happening. I think it was 2 years ago, a man in Kenya, I will not name him because he's a friend, his wife threw hot water at him and burnt 90% of his body. Overcooking, nothing else, nothing big. You see, so such men don't talk that they are being abused because they say that I'm a man. How can I be abused? And I'm keeping quiet about it. You see, they are
Yeah.
brought up in such a way that they don't want to fight back. They digest
Mm-hmm.
it. They keep quiet.
Let
So
me
we
use
have
an
such people.
analogy. I want to ask you a question, but I'll use an analogy first to ask you this question. There's let me say a story that's been told of somebody. Okay, this guy's had a business and had a very faithful and nice employee. They had the same employee for years, close to the family. The kids treated him just like another aunt or something. And then there's one day that she was caught stealing by the dad. by the man, the owner of the business, and then this person didn't know whether to fire her or not because she'd been nice and faithful over the years. Should she be fired or shouldn't he fire her?
I think first of all, she should be asked why, after all these years, you are doing this. There must be something she's
There
missing
must be something.
somewhere.
So
Yes,
actually, the answer is, if this is the first time she was caught, but this is probably not the first time she was stealing.
possible.
You see? So the first time somebody's been beat up that we see is probably not the first time. For her to have poured water on him is probably not the first time she had abused this person. It's been ongoing.
It's been ongoing, yes.
It's been ongoing. And it's
And
sad.
sometimes as well, do you know, anger breeds frustration, and when you're frustrated, you become a horrible person at the end of it, and you either be the villain or the victim.
Mm,
So in any relationship, I always want to dig deeper before I can judge the other
mm,
person. What put this person into that position?
mm.
What made them think that it was okay at the time to do what they did? There's no justification to hurting anyone, but
No, there's
at the
no,
same
yeah,
time,
I would be
could
worried
it be
about that.
they are mentally unwell, and they it's a cry for help, but it's a
Mm,
cry for help which has got unfortunate circumstances happening
mm,
within. So we need to look at the bigger picture than to just, dismiss things because this is what she did and or what he did, and then we just assume she's horrible. Maybe he
mm.
he or she drove him into that
Yeah, I know
situation.
now. Like in the courtroom, they can dismiss things out for mental illnesses and stuff. But generally speaking, there are things you can do. There are things you just can't do. You can't cross some lines. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speakers and our action shows and stuff, these things develop. Would have thought it fast. You rarely find somewhere where, like Sonia, if you could do, I don't know what to me. What are the chances of me just taking that water and pouring at you? You know, what are the chances of me just doing that, out of the whim of the moment or whatever? It's very minimal, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know sometimes in court you can dismiss things for mental illness, or you shot that person because he's mentally ill and stuff. But most of the time, and that's why you're saying leave. Leave. If that somebody is mentally ill and have issues and you see they're prone to violence, don't wait for them to do it to you. Don't wait
Mm,
until you are in
mm,
hospital or in a grave. Let them seek help. When they're going through the help and you're seeing progress, then that's a different situation. Then yeah, that's a
yeah.
different situation. But justifying every time that, oh, they're ill and you stay, they're ill and you do that. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we have been trying to help some people with a group of people we have. We
Mm,
do counseling, couple counseling, family
mm,
counseling.
mm-hmm,
Mm,
And very many people, it has changed a lot of people. But end of the day, when you talk to these people, it is always pointing fingers at each other.
yes.
mm,
He did that, she did that. But when you ask the children is both. It's not mommy or daddy. It's mommy
It's
and
both.
daddy is fighting every day. Now, can you just imagine the impact it is bringing on that child? The child's
mm,
behavior in school being a bully is because what he's seeing at home.
mm,
He's been
Yeah.
taught men are powerful. You can beat my mommy, so I can beat a girl at school.
Yeah.
mm.
You see,
So
you are
they think it's
bringing
a sign of strength.
you are bringing another monster in this world by
Mm,
doing so in front of your children.
Yes.
Because
mm,
that is what
Yeah.
he's going to be. Because right now he's just a small child, a bully.
mm,
But then he
mm,
will keep on graduating with it.
mm.
So
Yeah.
parents are supposed to be very careful, even if you have your fight or whatever. Keep it
Mm,
inside your bedroom. Don't bring it in front of your children. Don't
yeah.
abuse your spouse in front of your child.
Don't
Our
even
culture,
abuse your spouse.
But even
uh,
when it's happening behind closed doors, don't allow it to happen.
Don't
You
allow
know,
it to
yeah,
happen in the
don't
you
family.
allow it to
see,
happen
our
even behind
culture,
closed doors.
You
Yeah.
see, our
Okay,
culture
let me
is what
see.
is messing us
I don't
up.
know who is on there. Say hello to us. Let us know that you're on there. But you wanted to wind down. So sometimes when I try to wind down, because some topics you can't even finish them, they'll go on. And it's usually
Mm.
okay to revisit them if people want to learn more and stuff.
But
But for now,
we love to talk. Yeah.
I
I hope
know.
it will help somebody. Somebody will listen to this video, even if they're not watching right now. Maybe later, it
Yeah, some
might
people
help
watch
somebody.
later.
Help somebody else. You
Absolutely,
never know.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So let me say that I'll give you like 2 3 minutes max to now. If you can, if you're asked, okay, not more than 5 minutes. If you're asked now, a summary of domestic abuse, what would you say? If you're told, okay, you've got 5 minutes, tell us about domestic abuse, and maybe in the audience there are victims, there are perpetrators, there are all sorts of people in the people who are related to victims. You only have 5 minutes to just summarize domestic abuse. What would you say? Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Latifa,
So,
yeah.
to me, I've said before that domestic violence is any form of abuse that can be inflicted on a person, uh, on your person. So if somebody was to become very coercive, presenting with the controlling behavior, trying to push you to do things that you feel these are too much for you, trying to undermine you, trying to constantly you know uh, put you down, then that's a mixture of, it's a cocktail of domestic or abuse. It's a cocktail of emotional, physical, um y- financial. It can be anything that you have that somebody is taking advantage of, you know. So do not wait until things have gone to a point where they are no longer controllable. If and when you still can make up your mind and say, this is the time for me to hit the door, please exit, because there's no reason to exit in a coffin, with 4 or 6 people taking you to the graveyard. Maybe that's the only thing most people can understand, the language that people can understand, that domestic violence can go to the extreme of you being killed, of you being broken, having broken limbs. One time, if somebody was to twist your arm and you're saying stop it and they're not listening, and because you've had an argument and they feel they can overpower you like that, imagine what will happen the next time they grab hold of you. They'll just push you, shove you, maybe you just go and hit a wall, and you never wake up. So don't wait until things have reached boiling point. Leave when it's still ember. Don't wait until it's red. That's all I have to say.
My dear, thank you, my dear. Sonia.
Well, domestic abuse is a no. Learn how to say no. And when you say I'm a victim, you are a victim because you allowed somebody to do that to you. You allowed yourself to be a victim. Why do you want to be a victim? Say no, walk away. Do you want to be broken all your life? Have you ever thought the children you're keeping all this inside you, you're being beaten, you're agreeing
Mm.
to all this for your children? If something happens to you, what will happen to your children? Rather, walk away and get a life for yourself and for your children. Abuse is a no for me. Learn how to say no and walk away. And that's
Thank you so much. Thank you too. I'll leave it to the audience as well to tell us what, if you had 5 minutes to talk about domestic violence, what would you say? For me, I'll just say domestic violence is anything that you're uncomfortable with, whether it's financial or emotional. You know that it's wrong. Sexual, you know it's wrong, it's violating you in some way. You know that you don't want to try that sexual position for whatever reasons. You know that you don't want your money to be somebody else to look after your money for you. All those things you will feel it's wrong. It's just like children. Nobody teaches children sometimes right and wrong, but sometimes as a child you used to know. If somebody touched you when you're 9, you won't understand what it is, but you're like, no, why are they doing that? Why are they, but you can't understand what it is. So when something wrong is being done to you, you will know. If you want to change your life, if you want to be successful in your life, if you want better things for yourself in your life, you have to deal with these things. You can't pretend they're not happening. These things, if you leave it for too long, if you don't end up in a coffin, there's your self-esteem, your self-confidence, the way you show up to the world, you won't find yourself developing in any sense or manner, whether it's financial, education, anything. You stagnate or maybe even go backwards. So deal with it. Deal with it. If you're not sure, ask for help. If you're not sure, just find somebody who's non-judgmental and ask them. We all the women here, I bring wonderful women on this platform, women who like to empower other women. Reach out to any that you relate to, that you're comfortable with. They won't say no. They won't say no. Just let somebody listen to you and let somebody guide you and tell you whether that's actually an abuse. Because the problem is sometimes when we leave things and then they become blow up too big and you wonder why you can't change your life. Why some people can just do one or two things and their life changes drastically. It's because you're being held back by these things. So yeah, don't be ashamed. We won't even judge you. I've seen domestic violence. Mine was mild. It didn't even involve me being touched or anything. So Everjoy also shared her own story and stuff. So don't wait until it's too late. If that person needs help, let them go for help. But don't advocate for it. Love yourself first. Love yourself so dearly. You won't let anything happen to you. You won't let those things happen. Otherwise, more love, girls. Always nice having you. Everjoy, you're on mute. Thank you so much. And thank you guys who
Self-love.
Mine is
always
not
watch
nice. Mine is not nice.
us.
Yeah, self-love.
Yeah, oh, self-love. That's for self-love. How do you do the
Yeah.
self-love one?
Yeah, self-love.
Right, yeah. Right,
Yes.
yeah. John, domestic violence is a no. I would have really wanted
Yes,
you
it is a
to have
no.
us participate
It's
in
a
this
no,
because
no, no.
it's
Definitely
a
no.
no, it's not biblical, it's not whatever religion. No religion says that beat your spouse up or abuse your spouse up. Yes, they might have things that to guide you on how to, look after your family. They might have these kind of things, but nowhere. In fact, I think most religions, if not all, they advocate for love. So if you love somebody, you wouldn't want to hurt them. You wouldn't want to take advantage of them and abuse them and stuff. So yeah, love yourself, then find that other person to share the love with, and you will know how to love yourself, so you'll know how to love them. But if you had things you didn't deal with, you didn't face, then how are you going to love that other person? If you saw abuse in your family, how are you going to know how to love that person? You'll associate that with love, beating them up and stuff. So work on
Yeah.
yourself, and yeah. Otherwise, thank you guys. Thank you. Self-love and love to you all. Thank you, guys, and
Thank
I
you
hope
so
to
much for
see you
having us.
again. Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
dears.
You take
Safe
care.
travel and good night. Thank you, guys, and good night.
One last
Oh,
note.
I don't
And
stay out
One
of
minute before you
trouble.
go.
I am trouble.
yeah, go on and tell me.
One
Go
minute.
and also please.
Anyone, anyone who wants to talk, anybody who thinks they need to talk, you can
Mm-hmm,
always reach out to me. I'm always available there for you.
mm-hmm.
I'm not here to judge you. I don't want to know you. You can hide your identity and I can try to help you.
And tell us where
Please
we're going
reach
to
out.
find you. Where are we finding you?
I'm on Facebook. You can see my ID, Fatma Osman. You'll find me there. I'm
Hmm.
always
Sonia
there.
Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
You'll
Evajoy,
find
where
me
do we
there. Yeah.
find you? Um,
Oh, you can find me on Everjoy Kurango on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as official socialite Eve.
mm.
Yeah. Twitter, it's Eve One Bling. I can't remember. I've got too many
You
accounts now in
write
my
it,
head.
yeah. You do write them for us, and Sonia do write them for us, so that anybody wants to
I will
follow
do,
you,
yeah.
find you, because you never
Yeah,
know. Sometimes you touch somebody, relate to somebody, and they want to reach out to you,
definitely.
and they have no idea where to. Otherwise, for me, it's Nicole Hanselman. I've got my website with useful resources there on all forms of topics and subjects and stuff. And then we have this group. We have our page, Success Your Movement. My website is NicoleHanselman.com. I'm on YouTube, so it's easy to find me. It's not that hard to find me. So go ahead and find me, and I'll be ready and willing to listen to you. We're not here to say that marriage is bad or whatever is bad. I will never advocate for negative things, but we try and learn new things and learn how to accommodate each other and live with each other in peace, and to integrate all these different beliefs, tribes, cultures, and stuff. That's why on my platform you see people are from Zimbabwe, people are from I don't know where. I bring all sorts of people because we have to learn how to coexist. We have to
Yeah.
learn how to be one love. That's all that matters. So, dear, we know where to find you, Sonia. We know where to
Yes,
find you
I'll put
guys.
my
Just put
link
them on the
there.
comment
Thank
section.
you, ladies.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys, and good night. God bless.
God bless.